Hello and welcome back to another video. I am going to be setting up my 2023 bullet journal in this video. I received this for Christmas. If you saw my Christmas haul, you would have seen it already, but this is a bullet journal by Yop and Tom. So this is my first ever bullet journal. I have never owned one. I've kind of used a notebook for my journaling / planning, etc., and I've been meaning to use a bullet journal for a very, very long time. I love the creative aspect of it. I love just being able to create setups that are unique to me and no one else really. So that is what we are going to be doing. We're going to be setting up for 2023. I have sketched out the pages that I have kind of wanted because I didn't want to spend this video just me sketching and planning. I wanted to have it all planned out, and you can watch me inking, painting, creating the pages in a bit more depth over the sketch, and I just thought that would be more interesting than just seeing me in turmoil. I've spent many an hour trying to plan the pages that I really want for this journal. I have definitely been a bit more particular than I thought I would be, and I don't know whether that's the whole point of a bullet journal. I don't know. I'm very new to this, and I'm not sure what the way to go about all of this is, so it's a bit of a learning curve. Some of these spreads, I don't know whether they will aid me at all or whether they are a bit pointless, but I mean, I don't know until I try them. I can do this 1 year, and then maybe next year I can set up something a little bit better. But yes, I have pre-sketched everything out. We can do some time lapses and some close-ups and some real time, and I will talk over the video and explain why I've set up the certain aspects of the journal itself. But just a quick review of the journal itself. This is the hummingbird in a forest green journal, really beautiful, lovely faux leather finish to it. It's got some really lovely thick card in the front here. You don't have that annoying stuck together page, which is really nice. We have a key page already set up, so I just need to fill it in. We have an index in this book, and the pages themselves actually have a central point for each section, which is really cool. And we also are provided with a grid guide, so I don't have to come up with my own grid guide. This tells me how to split the columns with spaces, without spaces, vertically and horizontally, so it's a massive help. This has hugely helped me, but I know I've seen a lot of videos of people actually making their own version of this in the first couple of pages, but thankfully I don't need to do this. And in the back page there is a nice little alcove here that I can slide this into, which is really cool. And then finally there is a pen test page, which is fabulous. You know, you never know, and especially with me doing art myself, I'm a bit nervous to use certain pens in this book in case they run through, so it's really nice to have a page that I can test all my pens out on, so you will probably see me doing some of that. I have planned my January onward spread as well, but I probably won't show that in this video, so if you do want to see that, maybe answer after you've seen this video and whether you like my style of setting up my bullet journal. I'll probably ask you this question at the end of the video as well, but if you would like to see me doing the setup for January, please let me know and I will film that and get that published as well. So let's get on with planning and filling this journal for 2023. Getting straight into it, I think I struggled the most with actually choosing a colour scheme. In the back there is the pen swatching area, which you will see very shortly, where I started to swatch different pens, and as you can see, this little box here from that drawer is just a load of my water-based pens, which I thought would be better. Obviously alcohol will go through, paint pens may chew up the paper, etc. So I went with the water-based pens, which is why I have this big box out and I'm just looking through them. And I did a load of tests and kind of saw that most of them were fine. This paper is very thick and very nice. I have used watercolour on them and all sorts, and they've worked really well. And I did choose a really nice set of colours. and they were these muted tones, and I loved them. But then I did some tests as to how I wanted to colour in some of my spreads, and unfortunately the black pen that I was lining all my words with, etc., wouldn't go over them and wouldn't show up the same, so I'd have to use a white gel pen, which was fine. Here's the colour test page that I created. It was fine to use the white gel pen over the top, but it just wasn't the aesthetic I wanted for the get-go. Maybe 1 month would be like that. So in the end, I actually changed that, which I'll come on to very, very shortly. Yeah, so I just went in and filled in some of these bullet codes. Pinterest was my absolute friend doing all of this. It was just the thing I looked at the most. It was just helping me massively decide kind of what spreads, what kind of things I needed to do. Like I said, bullet journaling isn't it very new for me. I don't know what some of this stuff means, so I did have to rely heavily on Pinterest. So some of these spreads might look very similar to others, and that's just the way it goes. I'm sure I will develop my own styles in the future. But here I found some scrap kind of card making paper that I had in this lovely green colour. And cut it out over my 2023 numbers, and then I decided to do a little bit of a buzzard painting. I want to bring in some of my painting and realistic artwork of animals, etc., into my bullet journal where I could, and so I wanted to paint this little buzzard, which ended up being very warm sepia, yellows, oranges and brown kind of tones. So along with this very nice subtle pastel green colour, that kind of set the basis for my colour scheme. So I found in my Arteza brush pens, my water-based brush pens, I found kind of similar hues to those tones in this front page, and that was what I settled on for the rest of this yearly setup, was that kind of tones and those colours, which I think works out really well. I think I've chosen some good colours there, and they're very nice and subtle and not too garish, which is very, very nice. So yeah, I used some of my Winsor Newton gouache paints to paint the buzzard, which I will let you watch, and then I will come back to you when I have some other things to say. 4-page spread in this bullet journal is my year in review. I didn't go with any titles for this page, I just went straight in with doing 12 months, very, very simple and plain, adding a little bit of colour. And that was just so, you know, I can have a look. I do a lot of market stalls and things, and it's good to have highlighted which weekends are my market stalls, which weekends are, you know, visiting family or doing a certain event. And I thought it'd be really handy to just have a really quick overview of those pages. So just really simple and quick and very easy to look at for the first page. Then I moved on to some weight loss trackers. So this year, one of my personal goals is to lose some weight. Since meeting my partner, we've been very happy and have eaten a lot together, which we love doing. We love eating, we love cooking, we love going out for dinner. It's just something we love doing, and in turn that has made us put a good amount of weight on, and it's just something we are aiming to do, is get healthier, get fitter, lose a little bit of weight. I don't mind the weight as in stone. I don't mind my weight fluctuating or getting higher as long as I'm gaining muscle instead. You know, I don't mind a bit of give and take. It's not necessarily to make sure I'm losing X amount of stone, but it's just a tracker for that sort of thing, just to make sure I'm accountable for it all. And so I did a measurements tracker with the little person. I found that on Pinterest as well, very nice. So I could do all my measurements of my body, and then I came up with 2 actual weight trackers. But like I say, if they go up, they go down, it is what it is, as long as I am progressing to a more healthier goal in the end. So that's my measurements and my weight trackers. Then we moved on to a book tracker. Again, I'm going to keep saying this, but this is another thing I saw on Pinterest, really like the idea of it. Books are something I love doing, I love reading, however I don't have the time to do it, so this is hopefully allowing me to track that a bit better. And I really like the idea of just having a little bit of an aesthetic, like it's on my wall with some plants, some, you know, little pots and lights, etc. And it allowed me to not put too many blank books in there, so I didn't feel overwhelmed, but there's enough in there to keep me going for the year, hopefully. And if I do more, then I can add a new page later on in my bullet journal for that. So this page is to track some challenges, not necessarily for business, but personal as well. So for business, that could be, you know, Funguary, Inktober, Huevember, all those types of art challenges that you get. And then personal could be, I don't know, doing 100 squats every day for a month or something like that. Maybe keep it health related or a goal related challenge, but just some challenges in general I think would work very well. And for those of you that are keen-eyed, when I'm doing this green lettering in the background, which I really like this style of doing the lettering, I did forget the G. I double and triple checked all my sketches and planning and everything, and somehow managed to forget the G in challenges for that, but because I've got that black writing over the front, I don't think it's too noticeable. So other than me telling you right now, this shouldn't be too noticeable to other people. And anyway, it's my own bullet journal, I'm the only person who's going to know that that's there, but that is that spread. And then this next one is places I've been. I'd like to just track some little areas we go. We've been to loads of places whilst my partner and I have been together. We go to the Cairngorms almost every year for camping. We've been to Edinburgh this last year, and I'd just like to track some of those in this kind of Polaroid setup. I think it's quite a beautiful way of tracking it. So not necessarily just countries, but cities and other places as well. Then we have the goals page. So this is for my 2023 goals, personal and business. I just like the idea of having those tracked, and I can add to them during the year if there's a particular goal I'd like to achieve before the new year. And I just like this little star setup. I think it's a very motivating way of writing it all out. And I have, after filming this video, already filled a few of these in, but I need to add a few more on there. But no goals are pressurized, just, you know, extra little things to maybe be aware of to complete or trying to complete before the new year. Then this next spread is the things that make me happy. I also saw this on Pinterest and I thought it was really cute to do little doodles of things that make you happy, you know, and it almost humbleizes why you should be happy and what things should make you happy. And it doesn't have to be big amazing achievements. It could be a little cup of coffee on a morning before you start work. It could be a little thing to make you happy. So I aim to fill that in very nicely with lots of doodles, and at the end of the year when we review this bullet journal, hopefully I'll have a load of doodles in there of multiple things that make me happy. Then we move on to my Lucy Locks content. So this is just things like product ideas, commissioned trackers, videos ideas, just things to keep me accountable and just write down my thoughts and feelings about my business, my YouTube, my Instagram, things like that. Sometimes it's really difficult to compartmentalize all my ideas. I'll have tons in my head, and to have them somewhere to write them down is just a real big help. So that's what these next 3 spreads are. Okay, so I've done my year setups, spreads, and I'm ready to do my January spreads, which I will do in a separate video. So here's a quick flick through. I've obviously done my voiceover to explain why I've done each spread, but this will be a little overview. So there is my starting page with my name. Just some initial bullet code keys and colours. I need to obviously choose my colours and everything, but that will obviously start filling up as I go through, and I have new codes and colours that I want to add in there. The index I haven't quite filled in yet, but the starting year spread, I did these big bold numbers. Why couldn't I think of that? Numbers with this lovely card. I have a few cards in my drawer which I kind of struggled to come up with, and I did a few mock-ups on my iPad, and then I painted this little buzzard here. And then those colours really went well with these 3 Arteza brush marker colours that I chose, very muted, a little autumnal, and I thought they matched and paired really well with that, so that's why I chose them. Then I did my year in review. This is my first time doing this bullet journal, so I was struggling to come up with the ways of doing it, so this may change next year. It's just trying things out and seeing whether I like the way I've done it. So that's that. Then, like I've mentioned in my voiceover, I'm looking to lose weight, so I have a lot of things focused around losing weight. This is obviously my own preference. I know a lot of people don't want to include that into their bullet journals, but for me, I wanted to include my measurements and really heavily tracking my monthly weigh-ins, because I feel like it's the only way I'm going to stay accountable for losing weight. Then we have a book list. I love reading, but I'd never really make the time to read, and I really want to change that. But when I say book list, I'm not going to just refine it to reading books. I am going to add in like character design quarterly magazines, which are quite a thick magazine to read through, things like that. And I didn't want to just do a whole page of books, because I know I wouldn't go through that many. This may even be too many, but I really love this concept of having the shelves and having the books on there with some little accompaniments that I have in my house at the moment. So that's why I've done that spread, and I think the colours and everything look really nice. Then I did my challenges spread. Like I mentioned, I misspelt challenges in the background there, but luckily I don't think you can notice that too much. But this is just to track some challenges every month. Then I've got my places I've been. This won't be just countries, this will be cities and places, you know, Peak District, Lake District, going abroad, going away in the UK, things like that. And I just want to draw in a little image that I associate with that place and then write down here. So this is probably the most colourful page other than this one, where I've just really gone heavy with those colours, but I think it'll look nice once it's all filled in. Then again, along the same track as me losing weight, I've added this low calorie meals. I had this in my little notepad that I mentioned at the start, and I'm just going to write in meals that are under around 600 calories, because I feel like that would be perfect. And I write down, using the MyFitnessPal app, I write down the fats and the carbohydrates and then the total calories per meal as well. Then we have goals, so this is for my business and for personal goals as well. I've not filled any of these in because some of these I will be slowly adding to during the year, but I do need to sit down and fill these in shortly. Then I have a things that make me happy. I saw this on Pinterest and I thought it was such a beautiful idea, whereas whenever I find something that makes me happy, I'm going to do a little doodle of it, add a little bit of colour on there, and hopefully that will fill up by the end of the year and we'll have a really nice little page of things that make me happy. Then on to Lucy Lock stuff. So I've done product ideas here. I've colour coded them at the bottom to be spring, summer, autumn, winter. That is the launch times that I'm hoping to do each product. So I already have an idea of doing some homemade luggage tags, and I have a few other ideas that I'd like to jot down, and then I will colour code them as to when I would really ideally like to launch them for, because I think what I've struggled with this last couple of years is making the product and then actually launching it on time. I tend to have the idea around the time I should be launching, and then it's usually a bit too late to launch anything for people to get. And then this is a commissions page, which will just help me track when I receive a commission and when I need to do it by, etc. I do have an online version that my partner made for me, but sometimes it's just nice to have a paper copy as well. And then the final spread of my yearly stuff is just YouTube video ideas. I did this over 2 pages and I accidentally messed up this little bit here, so I might cover that over with some Tipp-Ex or something and redraw that, but this is just so I can jot down a load of video ideas. I have sheets pinned up on my little boards in loads of different places with video ideas, and it's nice to just have it all in here, and it'll be nice to just have a list of them, and I can say whether they're going to be a long or a short video to match my Tuesday or Friday uploads. But that's it, and I do have my January spreads ready, so I will do a separate video for those, potentially pair it with a studio vlog or something like that. But I hope you've enjoyed me setting up for 2023. I've really enjoyed having this, and it's been quite a long process setting up. I will try and make that a bit smaller next year, but I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I hope I've given you some inspiration as to what spreads you could include into your bullet journal as well. So please hit that thumbs up if you did enjoy watching, and I will see you in the next video.